Welcome to WP Theme Tutorial episode 29. Today we're going to look at adding, or allowing users or developers to add to a form called with AJAX, or add to any AJAX content basically. Now, part of the reason I am doing this is in my plugin is this post that I wrote. It's called "There's No Such Thing as Too Many Hooks," and I basically talked about Classy Press, which I've written about before. It has questionable code quality in some spots, but in this instance I needed to change, see this function here, I really just needed to change the message. That's it. To do that, I actually had to unhook this whole function and then copy it again, as opposed to having one filter on message. I could add whatever content I want to it then. So given that, on my plugin, and this is I guess the first sort of announcement of it, called WP Project Management, which is in very early stages. As you can see, I'm just using the default theme. You can find it on GitHub if you want to follow along. Most of the code is actually in the development branch right now, and once I hit the 0.1 release, I'll pull it all over to master. So in this, what I have here is I want to have a way to manage contacts. For you to add a contact to your database, and this would be a client, and then also to be able to link them to a business. That's what we're going to do. But what we have to start with is a form. This form is triggered and called via AJAX. Let's pull up our inspector, go to console, by clicking the add contact button. You can see I have my form. That's just all my AJAX output. Now what I want is later on people to be able to extend this form. So what I'll do today, and I'll show you, is for having, say, social profiles. You may or may not want this to manage all your clients. You may or may not want all their social profiles with their record. That would be up to you. So what we need to do is provide an action here for them to be able to add later. So let's take a look at our code. This is our big form, and we're going to look at this right here specifically. What this does is it's starting an output buffer. It's calling our do action. It's making our HTML. You can see we're taking HTML all the way down, and then we pass it back to our AJAX call. And we make it equal to the output buffer, get contents, and then we clean the output buffer. If we just called do action here, it wouldn't actually pass through because we didn't capture it at all, because of how we're actually calling the AJAX. You can also use apply filters. The issue I had with apply filters is that the HTML form is building upon itself. As apply filters takes a few arguments. So let's just copy this and we can talk through it. If we were doing apply filters, it would look something like this. Dot equals filter name, and then we want it HTML, because filters pass in something else. So if I do it like this, what actually happens is we get the form built up upon itself. If we're not passing anything with our filter, then so it just doesn't work out. So we basically get the form multiple times. Not cool. But this will pass through your AJAX call and is a valid approach in some respects. I just found that it wasn't doing what I wanted, which is why I went with the output buffer. So let's say we wanted to extend that, and I've already got a test function here down at the bottom. And you can see here it says social profiles, which is an H5, and then it adds a label and an input for Twitter. And that's it. And I'm adding it on my action before. Obviously I spelled before wrong. So why don't we correct that as well? Because that's already a committed change, so you can see my spelling mistake twice. Before, and let's go down to the bottom. Before. And this is just going to echo our two new inputs into it. So let's refresh our page in Firefox. And we'll click add contact. You can see I have social profiles, and I'm calling my Twitter name with the input. So if you want to add to AJAX, or allow others to add to your AJAX calls, this is how you do it. In a later screencast, I'll talk about some other stuff in AJAX about how I'm going to get all my form data and then pass it out, because these other plugins will also have to take care of saving their data. I don't necessarily know what's going in here, so other plugins will have to take care of saving their data. I'll also talk about 2 new functions, which I've used thanks to Brady Vircher, called WC send JSON success and WP send JSON error. I'll record that actually probably now, but it won't come out for a couple weeks on the site. Thanks for watching.